Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And it is Friday. However, we're going to go ahead and do our Thunderstruck Thursday today because yesterday just didn't happen. I got a frog in my throat. All right, I have a I have a fun technique for you today. When I first saw it, I was like, oh no, that's way too messy for me. I saw it demonstrated by Sharon Armstrong. I thought, oh, that's too messy. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a whirl. So I did it, and I did it for my team at our team gathering last week, and I could be hooked. I could very well be hooked. So let's give it a whirl, see what you think. Let me know if you give it a whirl at home or post your pictures down below of what you do. I've got a few samples for you, and then I'm trying something new today. So, hang on. My camera keeps, there we go. All right. I don't know why. I got my camera all set up, and then it just changed on its own. All right, so I have here my glass mat. You can use a glass mat. You could use a surface that you don't mind that might get some dye on it. You can use like a cutting board and then put plastic wrap over it. Just know that if you have any wrinkle, that's going to affect your design. I'm loving having this glass mat. If I didn't have it, I probably would still try the technique, but I think cleanup with this is so much easier. I'm going to make sure to get my cleanup cloth. So this just makes it that much easier. Let me just put it that way. All right, so I'm going to show you some of my samples, and then I'm going to do it for you. So the first one I did was this card here. So the background is what is done here. And then after it dried, I put it through the sunflower embossing folder. I added, just so you can see, I added this blue ribbon with it, and these colors were Azure Afternoon, Gorgeous Grape, and Melon Mambo. That's a very favorite color combination for me. I did it a lot, or I loved that color combination when I was in high school. I always wanted the pinstriping on a white car in those three colors. Yes, I've just dated myself. I don't think they do pinstriping anymore. And then I used the mix and match sentiment, but then I used Azure Afternoon and my blending brush to change that color, so you can see that. And then I used these frosted iridescent dots. All right, so that's that card. And then, because I tend to take flowers literally, and I like the colors to be literal, I had to do this in something that was more sunflower color. All right, and then I used the same, I used different dots for this one. I used the yellow dots from here. This is the Opal Rounds assortment. And I used, even though I used crushed curry in this, I went ahead and used the Darling Duckling ribbon because it worked so well. Did my thing just go blurry, not blurry? There we go. I don't know what's going on with my cameras. All right, and then I used the mix and match and used the crushed curry to add the color. So super fun. This is Timid Tiger, and then crushed curry, and those are the colors I used. Crushed curry, Timid Tiger, and Cajun Craze. That's that darker color there to get those. So that's how I did the sunflower ones. And then for my team, I did some greens. I decided to go Christmassy. And so I did this one. And I used the wreath embossing folder and this red ribbon. I love how it sparkles on the one side. So then I made sure I tied a double ribbon together. This is not one that I would be able to send. It's too bulky. This will have to be a hand-given card. I added these gems here, which are the Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Adhesive Backed Berries. And then I used the sentiment from the Greetings for You Mix and Match. And then down here, this sentiment, May Your Heart Be Filled with Joy, is from the Jar of Joy stamp set. And this card, this larger white card is from the Memories and More cards and envelopes. So because I didn't want to cut down too much of that wreath, I used the Memories and More cards. All right, so let's go ahead. We need to use for this the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. It is in the online store. You get quite a few, I don't know how many, 10. You get 10 pieces in here. It's a premium archival cotton watercolor paper made with a combination of traditional paper making techniques and modern technology. And it allows for the water to not destroy the paper. So, and then the other thing we're going to need is the Whisper White pigment ink. Well, it's not Whisper White anymore. It's just white pigment ink. This is an older one. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder today. So let's go ahead. I'm going to cover some things up. So the colors I'm going to use today are Real Red, Garden Green, which is your very traditional colors, and I'm going to put a little bit of Smoky Slate in it because it is a plaid shirt. I thought about going yellow because Christmas colors yellow, but I'm going to give it a whirl with the Smoky Slate and we're going to see what happens. So we're going to start off with squeezing out some color here, and you want to make sure you have enough. I have paper towel on hand. All right. Whew. There we go. May have to get new refills after this, but I don't use my refills up very often, so probably just as well. This is a very old refill. All right, so we're just going to put some colors. This is my Real Red. We're just putting colors around so that it will mix together. All right, and then I'm going to use some of this Smoky Slate, and we'll see whether I pick two. I wanted something silver or gold, but we don't have those colors, so that's why I thought, well, I'm going to try the Smoky Slate. It's not super duper dark. It looks super dark like this, but we'll see how it goes. So then we need our spritzer, and we're going to we're going to spray our ink. And we want it to kind of go together, so you want to make sure you spray enough so it's not all separated like that. All right. There we go. Now, besides my glass mat, I also have, ooh, that's looking a little muddy. Yeah, that's looking a little muddy. Let me get it wetter and see. Oh, I don't know, folks. That looks a little too muddy. I think I'm going to go with the yellow after all. So here we go. I'm going to tear this one off so that I have one for the next batch. I don't like to use my cloth to wipe off the whole thing. I like to use a little bit of paper towel first, and then I will pull in my cloth. So I guess I should have tried these colors out beforehand, but, oh, where'd that come from? But I didn't, because I thought I had this down. So let's try this again, and I'm going to grab the Daffodil Delight, which was my first instinct. All right, so we're gonna try this again. All right, and the Real Red. I could have also gone with a lighter green. That's what I did on the wreath. The wreath was Lemon Lime Twist, shaded spruce, and green. Can't think of garden green. All right, so let's see what happens with that. Oh, crumb cake, I'm out of water. All right, hang on. This is one of those days, isn't it? All right, luckily I have some water here. So I will just fill it and spill it. Fill it and spill it, that's what it is. Fill it and spill it. All right, let's try that again. It's okay if it spills here because we want lots of water here, right? Right? All right, let's try this now. So we want to make sure we have plenty of water so that it does spread to each other. There we go. Boy, that red and green really get muddy, don't they? All right, well, this one we're going with. So here we go. All right, let's drop it in there. And you want to make sure you could cut the paper down or you can leave it as is. I'm leaving it as is because my embossing folder is big enough to handle it. And then I will cut it down and I may be able to use other pieces for other cards. All right, so let's see what we have. Oh, that actually turns out pretty good. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and clean up our mess. See, it's messy. It's messy, messy. All right. And there it looks muddy and brown. So red and green make brown in the color scheme. All right, so let's go ahead. See, look how great that is. That just cleans it up perfectly and beautifully. You'd never know I made this big old mess here. I love this cloth, this chamois, and this mat. So again, if you do not have a surface that you can do that, if you don't have a glass mat, you can put plastic over another board. Just remember, any wrinkles you have in that plastic will then show up in your paper. Okay, so I have a couple extra heaviness there that I'm going to blot up a little bit. All right, and then what you can do is you can take your heat gun, your heat tool, and use it to dry it out faster. So I decided to do that for this purpose. And you can see how it's curved. You can see how it's curved a little bit, but then as it dries, it flattens back out. All right, so we'll kind of do that. I like the coloring. That worked out. The yellow definitely helped lighten it up. I think that that would definitely be the way to go. That I don't even want to know what that other one looked like. It just looked way too muddy. So it's starting to flatten itself back down. There we go. Which means it is drying. Yep. So it is flat again. It was nice and curved. So let me bring, I can still tell that it's a little moist, especially in those areas, but I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we're going to put this into our our plaid. It's going to look like flannel. We're going to put it into our plaid folder. Oh, I have that light coming in. Run it through the embossing machine. the paper makes my mat really slippery. All right, and I'm just gonna run it back through because that's really thick paper compared to your regular cardstock. Let's move this out of the way. And then, look at that. That looks great. That looks like great Christmas plaid. All right, so then what we're going to do, we'll see how it works. It's going to hit all the raised parts. So let me go ahead and zoom in for you. Here we go. And we're going to take the white and we're just going to swipe it gently across our raised parts. Like that. All right, and then I'm going to turn it this way. Put my fingers here. Oh, that looks really cool. I love the yellow. The yellow worked out much better for sure. All right, and then that does need to dry. And then when it dries, I'll probably cut it in half because then I can use two and you could add some extra greenery with it. You could use any die cut that you have that's Christmassy. You could even use, which may be what I do, you could even use any of these Time for Celebration mix and match ephemera packs. And well, not the blue one, but you could use any of the Christmas ones on here and it would make a great background. I like how that turned out. That turned out really good, actually. I'm like, woohoo! Considering how we started off, I'm like, woohoo! So we have the Christmas pudding. We have this one here. You have, the snowflake stuff. So you could do this in blues and pull in the snowflakes. You could color this in with your Stampin' Blends. So we have this and we have this here. And then what else do we have Christmassy? You have this ornament, more of the berries, and more of these that you can color if you want, or keep them black and white. And then nothing Christmassy here other than the snowflakes. Oh, candy canes. You could add candy canes to it too. So this would be a really quick and easy if you used this. And whoops. All right. If you use these two together, you would definitely be able to put this card together quick and easy. But it's a super fun technique. I am in love with it. I really love how it stands out with the flowers. Let me move back out for you. It really stands out with the flowers. And then I love how it turned out with this wreath as well. So this can be cut into two and used as a card front with another layer behind it. You can bring the yellow out, you can bring the green out, or you can bring the red out. You can see how it did get a little bit muddy here with the red and green. I understand that. It did get a little bit muddy there. It looks kind of yellow in the photo or in the camera. However, when you're cutting it, you can turn it around, and then this is where you could put your ephemera to kind of cover up that muddiness. All right, but this side really would make a really cute one as well. This one you could use the ephemera to kind of hide a few things, and you could even do some Wink of Stella on it. Ooh, that's what I should do over here, is some Wink of Stella on this wreath. So you could use some Wink of Stella, not on this part right there, but like on any of your ephemera to make it kind of pop and jump out. So what do you think? Let me know whether this is something that you would give a whirl, whether you would do it, or whether it's something you just like to watch, but you're not even going to try it. And I can understand that, because I usually do not like the messy things, but I really like how this turns out. And every one is going to be completely unique. You're not going to get the same coloring that you get each time it's going to change. I'm gonna have to say that in the camera, this looks better than in person. I like that. The only part that looks a little muddy is actually right here, but it's more of a brown. So I guess red and green make brown, or red, green, and yellow make brown, but it works because it's a plaid, and plaid, anything works for plaid. I love plaid. Do you like plaid? Tell me if you like plaid. Say yay plaid if you are a plaid person. So anyways, that is my Thunderstruck Thursday for today, the watercolor background. I trust that you do give it a whirl. And then let me know. Post your pictures down below in the comments. Let me know what you did. What colors did you use? I would love to see it. Remember, next week, the lives will all be recorded because I will be, airlines working, cross our fingers, I will be in Vegas for the Backstage Leadership Conference. So crossing fingers, praying, whatever I have to do, that the airlines keep us coming and going so that we can get to Backstage, because they have a great event planned. So whew, we'll be crossing our fingers. All right, so I have Paper Pumpkin Playdate scheduled for you for Monday morning at 9 o'clock. I have Kit Together Tuesday scheduled for you at 11:30. Yes, 11:30 on Tuesday. And next Thursday, I have another Thunderstruck Thursday scheduled for you for 1:30. So check those out. Let me know what you think. Act as if you are watching it live with your commenting and everything. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all then the next week for Paper Pumpkin Playdate. And by then, I should have my new one. So looking forward to seeing that one. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. See ya. Oops, wrong one.